In the world in which we live, we have to make an assumption that Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger are very happy people, because we have been led to believe that more money that a person has, the happier that he is. So one of the richest men in the world has to be very happy, or an Ambani in India has to be very happy, right? That's an assumption that we are making, because we believe higher the net worth and higher the income, the happier the person. I'm not even getting into true or false, right? But look at Warren Buffett. He's not had a greatest of runs over the last 2-3 decades. He's not been the best fund manager, right? Over 2-3 decades. Yes, he's got a 80-year life, compounding life, but I'm saying last 2-3 decades he's not been too great. Very many people have analyzed his portfolio. There are people like Samir Arora who analyzed his portfolio and came to some conclusions that if there was a sequence of risk, if the sequence of return risk had hit him, which means if he had got these bad returns of the last 30 years in his first 30 years, there would be no Buffett, right? You have to have time and luck, that you created the portfolio and after that you lost or you grew less. That is easier to handle, right? Now, he also is not the richest man in the world, so he has perhaps lost that position also. But for even a second, do you think Buffett sits at home and says, oh my God, how do I get ahead of Jeff Bezos? What should I do? Does he pick up all those names and say Simmons is a good fund manager? Does he get into saying, oh God, I've got only 13% return over the last few years and this guy has got 19% return. What can I do to beat him? Right? I don't think he does that. Neither should you. Understand one thing, if you have been reasonably successful in life, if you have lived in India, born in the 60s, 70s, maybe 50s, and done reasonably well and have created a couple of crores for yourself, which is enough for you to meet your retirement, you've done well. It just means one thing, you have taken a lot of decisions in your life which were right. Your right decisions are greater than your wrong decisions. Maybe your marriage was right, your portfolio was right, your job was right, your children turned out well, right? Many of these decisions have been right. Yes, of course you would have made mistakes. We all make mistakes, right? It is not as though Buffett doesn't make mistakes, or a Vallabh Bhansali doesn't make mistakes, or a Rakesh Jhunjhunwala doesn't make mistakes. Of course we all make mistakes. We make mistakes in choices of how we should spend our time and energy and with which friends. If you take somebody like a Vallabh Bhansali, is an amazingly good health condition, in the sense that his mental health in terms of Vipassana and all that. He's made those choices, right? It is not as though he couldn't have chosen to chase more money or things like that. I'm not even saying for a minute that he is not happy with the money, but I'm saying money alone should not allow you to decide. And since you do not know what is happening in other people's life, don't assume that just because they have money they are happy, or just don't assume that because they don't have money they are unhappy. I met a friend of mine, the happiest couple that I would have met, or happiest would be a very difficult tag to live with. They were both school teachers in a Bombay municipality school. Not a great salary, not a great pension. Children turned out to be absolutely brilliant. Both the children have done very well academically, now well settled. It just does not bother them as to how much money they have. So, and because he's a good friend, I asked him, he does not even touch a crore in terms of net worth, and he's about 54 or 55 years of age, and so is his wife. But they're very happy with that kind of money. So fine, as long as you made more decisions right than wrong, maybe you're very happy with what you have. So find out what is creating your ikigai, what is your happiness, right? So that is one very important thing. Second, don't even assume that you know what is happening in other people's life. Mostly we do not know what's happening in other people's life. So don't assume anything about their happiness, their sadness, etc. Don't offer advice on what can be done. Also understand that over long periods of time, what is respected changes. When I see a group of men who are maybe 54, 55, and who sit outside temples and sing bhajans, and there is absolutely nobody paying attention to them, that talent of being able to sing lovely bhajans is completely lost in today's age. and these people are made to look like beggars. Nobody wants to feed them in the villages. They come to cities, and in the cities nobody wants to sorry wants to hear them, right? So 20 years back, the career which was top is not really the top career today. A 70-year-old doctor was telling me that during his one 70-year-old doctor was telling me about when he had to make the choice of his career, he would not even look at radiology and dermatology. He would not look. He said, if I got admission into those, I was not interested in taking it. So then he chose some other field, and he is now a successfully practicing doctor. But he says, now how do I reconcile to the fact that today they are the best earning divisions, right? Dermatology, if you can do hair transplant, you do well. If you can do cosmetic surgery, that is earning well. Radiology is making money, and right. So 20 years later, 30 years later, what will happen is something which you didn't know. And I mean, most of us who born in the 60s, who got into financial services, were just plain lucky. In a manufacturing company, we could not have earned so much money. We could not have become entrepreneurs, so to say, right? So that is luck. It is not skill, right? The career that you make, the location where your father decides to stay, that's luck. So don't try to attribute everything to your skill. Of course, it is your skill which brought you here, but if you didn't have the luck to even know this, that such a career option was available. It is like I keep saying that Sachin Tendulkar's luck was his parents allowed him to play cricket, and not typically like a Indian family say, oh, so you have come to class 8, now go and attend coaching classes for physics and maths, you're weak in maths, and then he would have become a clerk in some bank, right? That's what he would have had to do. But luckily, being allowed to pursue a career of your choice is luck. It is not skill. After that, how well you do is skill. But allowing you till there was just luck that you reached there. I mean, complete luck that I lived in a place where there was a lot of scope for doing equity related work and not just being a chartered accountant to work in a PSU bank, right? That's luck. So what are the other things that you have to look at? Also, we do not know what causes happiness in others. We do not know what causes happiness in us. Don't worry about others, but go and find out what really makes you happy, right? I know one guy who at the age of maybe 40 decided to give up his career and start a creche for, obviously, for very young children above the age of 2. He did not want to take children below 2, and he is running a very good creche up market. He and his wife run it. They have employed people to run it, and he gets an amazing amount of energy from being with kids. Many of those kids have now grown up, they have become big, but they still remember him and his wife, and so it's a great thing what they have done. But that is, he knew what he had to do. Now you can live your age of 100 without being happy about what you did. First go and find that out, then find out what really gives you happiness. Don't worry about what makes others happy and unhappy. Each person is in his own journey. So somebody may have money but no happiness, somebody may have happiness but no money. We connect everything to money and say, oh, his net worth is high, her net worth is high, she's earning very well, and right. There have been enough instances which we have seen, and the most amazing example I like to give is Jayalalitha. She was young, she was talented, she was beautiful, she could sing well, she could act well, she was a winner, she became a top heroine. She became a chief minister, she was powerful, she had everything except happiness, right? So you do not know, so don't chase something which you think will make you happy. First find out what will make you happy and then chase that, right? So I mean, this whole book is goal-based investing. So you can have a goal-based life, saying what you want in life, what is your goal, what is your ikigai. There is the ikigai book is also somewhere here. Find out the purpose, find out for which people will pay money, pursue that, that will give you happiness. Don't assume that money will give you happiness, or not having money will mean you're not happy, right? Thank you.